Hi everyone, on this video we're going to graph rational functions and find asymptotes, intercepts, and any holes. And the first thing you always want to do is factor, because we can see things better after we factor it. So I'm going to factor this numerator, and I'm going to factor the denominator. I know you know how to factor if you're doing this. So first of all, we have no holes here, because a hole would mean you could cross a factor out. So there's no holes. I have the vertical asymptotes come from the denominator, and you set that to 0. So my vertical asymptotes are x equals -3 and x equals 2. My horizontal asymptotes has to do with the lead degree here. So here my degrees are the same. So when the degrees are the same, you just divide the lead coefficients. So my horizontal asymptote is y equals 2. And intercepts, our y-intercept is going to be when x is 0. So when x is 0, I just cross out the x's, and I get -3 over -6, which is 1/2. And my x-intercepts you get from the top here. So you set the numerator to 0. You set the whole thing actually to 0, but it knocks out the denominator. So when you set that to the top, your x-intercepts are going to be 0, -1/2. Nope, sorry. -1/2, 0, that's when y is 0, and 3, 0. All right, so that's all the information. Again, let me show you on the x-intercept real quick what you're doing. You're basically taking x plus 2 times x minus 3 over x plus 3 times x minus 2 and setting this to 0. Now when you cross multiply, this goes away. So when you're looking for the x-intercepts or the roots, you're just looking at the numerator. Alright, now we're going to graph this. I went ahead and used the calculator. I know, let me look real quick. -3, 2, and 2. So we have -3 here and 2. Those are your vertical asymptotes. Okay, your horizontal asymptote was, wait. Let me get the right one. Okay, your horizontal asymptote is y equals 2. It says y equals 2, x equals -3, and x equals 2. All right, you have intercepts at 0, 1/2. Your y-intercept is here, and your x-intercepts are at -1/2, 0, and 3 zeros. So you have one here and here. 3. Is that 3? Let's see. Yeah, 3, 0. All right. Let me look again. Yeah. All right. Sorry. So when you graph this, you're probably using a calculator. You can get more specific, but it's going to look something like this. Goes up here, and then we're going to go through down here through the y-intercept, and then come up through here. All right? And then on this side, we're going through this. So we're going to go up through here and cross right here. And that's just using the calculator. And to get more specific points, you can do second graph. All right. Next one. Again, I'm going to factor this. So I get x plus 2 times x minus 5 over x plus 2, no, 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1 times x plus 2. Now this is what we're talking about, a hole. This has a hole because this graph has a hole because these are common. Now we have, we can cancel these out. So we have a reduced rational, which is x minus 5 over 2x minus 1. Now to find the whole, we set our x would be negative 2 because you set x plus 2 equals 0. So x equals negative 2. And then you plug the negative 2 back into here. So your whole occurs at negative 2, comma, and I plug that in, I'm going to get negative 7 over negative 5, which is 7/5. You just plug it in. So there's your whole. Now, since you have a hole there, we can still get our vertical asymptotes, and we're just going to deal with the reduced equation. So my vertical asymptote has to do with the denominator. Set that to 0, and you get, when you're going to get x, so for your vertical, you're going to get x equals 1/2, because you just set this part to 0. Your horizontal asymptotes have to do with the degrees. Since our degrees are the same, you just divide the lead coefficient. So that's going to be y equals 1/2. It's just 1 over 2. All right? All right. Our intercepts have to do with the y-intercept is easy because you just cross out the x's here, and we're just looking at this portion. So your y-intercept is when x is 0, and we get 5, because negative 10 divided by negative 2 is 5. And your x-intercept is going to be 5, 0, because you're looking at the numerator here. You set this to 0. All right? Okay, let's try to graph this. I'm going to go probably back and forth to the slides. So I'm going to graph these two, and they're both at 1/2. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your y-intercept and your x-intercept. My asymptotes, are they both positive? Yeah, they're both positive. So it's y equals 1/2, which is about there, and x equals 1/2, which is right about there. Now, it's going to cross here. It does cross the graph if you look at the calculator. And then here, it comes up here, goes through the y-intercept, and goes up here. I didn't draw this very well. Remember, we have a hole at, where's our hole at? Our hole is at negative 2, 7/5. So we go negative 2 and 7/5. It's a little bigger than 1. So we have a hole there. So I'm going to kind of draw it through that hole. So it goes up to there and then goes on up. And that would be your graph. Okay? The next one is this one. The top, the numerator, we can leave this like it is because we can't factor that. And the denominator is going to be x minus 6 times x minus 1. So I look at my denominator for the vertical asymptotes, which is just going to be x equals 6 and x equals 1. My horizontal asymptote is a little different here. Now, my degree in my denominator is bigger than my degree in the numerator. And anytime that happens, it's automatically y equals 0 is your horizontal. All right, there's no holes because we can't cross anything out, any factors out. My y-intercept, when x is 0, is just going to be this last two parts here. Negative 2 over 6, which is negative 1/3. And then my x-intercept, I'm just going to let y be 0 and just look at my numerator here. And so when y is 0, x is going to be 2/3. Okay? And then we're going to graph this. We have 6 and 1. So here's my 1. X equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. X equals 6. So that's x equals 1, x equals 6. My horizontal is right at y equals 0, right on the axis here. All right. I have an intercepts at 0, negative 1/3, which is about here. Let me do that in red. Somewhere in there. And then, let's see. I have my x-intercept at 2/3. So, right in here. It's right about there. So, this part is looking like this. Then you have a piece that looks like this. Again, this is just using the calculator. And you have this piece coming around looking like this. This is just a rough sketch of the graph. Okay, and the last one we have has an oblique asymptote, so I'm going to factor the numerator, and I get x minus 3 times x minus 2 over x minus 4. There's no holes. My vertical asymptote is at x equals 4. My horizontal asymptote, I don't have one, because the degree in the numerator is greater than the degree in the denominator by 1. That means I'm going to use long division or synthetic division. I'm going to go ahead and use synthetic division and do that very quickly. So I bring down the 4, or bring down the 1, sorry. Bring down the 1, multiply, add, we get negative 1. So basically I don't need to do anything more. I don't care about the remainder here. So since we started with x squared, this is going to go down 1. This is going to be x minus 1. So your oblique asymptote is at y equals x minus 1. All right? Now, okay, for the rest of it, we have to find our y-intercept, and that's just going to be 6 over negative 4, which is negative 3/2. And our x-intercepts, we have 2 this time, which is 3 comma, you're just setting this to 0, the numerator, and 2 comma 0. All right? And there's no holes because we can't cross anything out. So basically I'm going to graph this first, and then I'm going to go ahead and graph this as well, my asymptotes. So I have my oblique asymptote or slant asymptote, something like this. And then my vertical asymptote is at 4. So this is x equals 4. This is y equals x minus 1. And then you kind of just look at the calculator and graph it as such. But we do have our intercepts here at 0, negative 3/2, which is about here for the y-intercept. and our x-intercept is at 3 and 2. So here's 3, 1, 2, 3. So it kind of looks like this. And there's your graph. Okay, the next video we're going to do is just basically finding information about rationals, but we're not going to graph them. Thanks and have a nice day.